If you look into this graph, you'll realize that Goldman Sachs is the second largest investment banking company out there. Their overall revenues for 2022 were $47 billion and their overall profit was $10 to $11 billion. Huge, measure it by any yardstick, right? Still, when they released these results 2 days back, the market sentiment was completely negative. The stock came down by 6%. And the primary reason is the bread and butter division, the investment banking division's revenues were down by 50%, 48%. That is huge. In this video, we are going to analyze what do investment bankers actually do, how do they make money, and finally, what's currently happening in the market, why the revenues are down by 50%. Subsequently, there are also some very interesting takeaways for you from a corporate career perspective and also from a learning standpoint. Let's jump into the video and look into what do investment bankers actually do. Let's start with a simple example. You are looking to purchase a house and I am looking to sell a house. We don't know each other. So there is an intermediary connecting you and me. It could be a platform, it could be a friend, a relative, or a broker, right? And if this transaction goes through, that intermediary will benefit. Now, what are some of the factors based on which you will make the decision as a buyer? Number one, you want a great house. Number two, it should be great price. And number three, if you're looking for that loan, that interest should be pretty low, right? These are the three factors that you'll be worried about. And as a seller, all I'm worried about is a great price. Understand the market dynamics and your behavior and my behavior will basically ensure whether this transaction is going through or not. Not much to do with the intermediary in majority of the cases. In the investment banking scenario, Goldman Sachs investment bankers are these intermediaries. If it's just you and me looking to purchase a house and sell a house, it's fine. But when two companies are coming together, there are a lot of individuals, a lot of teams that have to go through this process. There is due diligence involved to understand, hey, whatever these guys are saying, is it correct, right? Now, Goldman Sachs as an intermediary will start doing the work. And if the transaction does not go through, they'll say that, hey, you still need to pay us. So there are multiple ways in which these guys are paid. The first one is fixed monthly income. That is, hey, if I work on this deal for 10 months, you need to pay me every month $1 million. And subsequently, if the deal goes through, then you pay me a success rate, whether it is 1%, 5%, 10%, whatever it is. So two components to the income that investment bankers or Goldman Sachs generate. In this current market, both buyers and sellers are not willing to get into the market itself. So the revenues for Goldman Sachs are going down. Now, why are both the buyer and seller not coming into the market? The company which is looking to sell itself is saying that the market is down. So I'll probably get a lower price. Why don't I wait for a few months? And the buyer is saying that, hey, the interest rates are anyways increasing over the last few quarters. So the cost to borrow the money, the loan would be much higher for me. So why not wait until the interest rates come down? And also, I do not know if this seller company will survive this entire downturn. Why don't I wait, see that, hey, this company can actually perform better, and then I can probably go ahead and purchase this company. So the intermediary definitely is losing out. The buyer and seller are just playing that waiting game right now. And that is the primary reason why Goldman Sachs revenues are going down. According to a report from BCG, the M&A activity has come down by 32% in 2022 compared to 2021. Now, another interesting fact is that the Goldman Sachs revenues are down, all the other investment banking companies' revenues are down, but still, the most hit stock was only Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan, which was actually the leading investment banking company in the world, that stock was not as badly hit as Goldman Sachs is. The reason is because the revenue streams for JP Morgan are much more diversified compared to Goldman Sachs. You and I as individuals can go into a JP Morgan Chase bank. However, the retail banking presence for Goldman Sachs is extremely limited. So the number of ways in which they are diversified to get their revenues are limited, and hence when one major division falls down, the entire company is also looking at negative market sentiment. Now, what are these guys doing? Goldman Sachs CEO announced that, hey, we are now aggressively focusing on other divisions such as asset management. That's a very logical move, right? If there is one takeaway for you, the first one is, hey, you should also an individual or a company doesn't really matter. We also need to diversify our income streams. You see what's happening with Goldman Sachs compared to what's happening with JP Morgan and Chase. Similarly, we don't want to end up in that situation. Look out for those side hustles. Number 2, mergers and acquisitions is a very interesting topic. The total understanding of a business, the total understanding of how a market is functioning, what are the market situations, how the economy is performing, all these things you will understand by going through a few mergers and acquisition case studies. Go through this playlist where I have created a bunch of mergers and acquisition cases over the last few months. And you will learn about the industry and also you will learn about how the economy is shaping up. Finally, I'm also giving you a link to an interesting article where it talks about how mergers and acquisitions and investment banking companies do in the face of a global economy slowdown. Hope this video is helpful, guys. Once again, please go ahead, click on that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Please do share it with your friends. It means a lot to me. Take care. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.